Welcome back, everyone. Today I'm going to talk about investing in new categories and how it is vital to your business. And when I talk about investing in new categories, it could be money that you're investing in it by getting product and trying it out, or it could be your own time just researching it as well. And looking at those two factors, it's going to be vital in helping you understand whether jumping to that category is going to make sense for you in the long run. So for myself, in the last few months, I have jumped into buying and selling combo units, DVD, VHS combo units, or even just regular VHS units as well, and reselling on eBay and flipping them there. That has really helped my business grow over the last couple months. Every unit that I have listed has already sold out. Now, as with jumping in any category, you have to understand the ins and outs of it. You have to understand the brands that are out there. You have to understand what the market is bearing for it, what the prices you could get, what the costs are regionally for you if you're buying at thrift stores or Facebook Marketplace or OfferUp. You just have to know all those little pieces to understand, does it make sense for yourself? And starting out, that could be scary for someone. It's scary for me jumping into a new category, especially one that I haven't sold before. Now, I've used them before, so that's actually a good thing. I know how to program it, I know how to start one, record it, all that type of stuff, making sure it's working. But if you're brand new to a category, it could be scary for you. And one thing you just have to realize is you have to invest a little bit of time to be able to maybe make some really good money in the long run. Myself, I'm actually researching a new category as well. I was at the thrift store just this week and there wasn't much there, but I found a few awesome items. I found two CB radios that were sitting there. And each of them were $8.49 plus I took 20% off, so around like $6.50 when it came out to, everything all in. Now for myself, I haven't had a CB radio in years. It's something I have a little bit of knowledge about, but I haven't installed them lately or anything like that, or really looked into them. But when I looked up those radios on eBay, and I'll pop up some of the comps here for these two, they're insane prices that we're going for them. And what I figured out there is, with that little investment of just the capital to get the radios themselves and test them out, and then also the time for myself to figure out, okay, what other components do I need to be able to fully test them? What do I need to do time-wise of looking into the market of, okay, what are the brands that I should be selling and looking for, all that type of stuff. I made the determination right there actually in the store of you know what? This is a category that I want to look at long term because I've seen them on the shelves before and I've just passed on them. But if I can master this category, I could be picking up, units that are like $100, $200, even $300, $400. I've seen some of these things going on eBay. And that's really what you need to ask yourself is, how much are you willing to invest for long-term gains? And maybe that investment that you're putting in there, some of that money, some of that time is not going to pay off. Maybe you're going to decide, this is not where I really want to go. But in the long run, you're going to know, okay, I'm crossing that category off of my list anytime I go in. I've already researched that. I'm not going to go into it. I know that one's not good for me. And that's going to make you a better reseller and thrifter in the long run. And while you're out there learning that category, you may be learning other subcategories as well. I'm learning about CB radios, but maybe what I find out in the long run is, hey, I want to be finding the little handheld mics on there. Maybe that's what I want to be flipping instead of just the radio itself. I don't know. But it's going to help me learn maybe something new that I wasn't even looking out for before. Reselling is a really time-intensive job, right? You're always looking for product. You're cleaning product. You're testing product. You're taking pictures. You're listing. You're pulling. You're packing. You're shipping. You're doing customer service, right? There's a lot of work to it. But if you want to really grow your business, you have to understand, what's going to take you from A to B and then B to C and then C to D. And that could be adding a new category to your mix, or maybe that new category is going to be your main category going forward, and you're going to be able to cut out some the wasteful categories that you've been sourcing and selling in the past. It's really just taking that time to educate yourself and really understand, is this worth it for me in the long run? And as they always say, knowledge is power. And the more knowledge you're going to get in different categories and be able to understand them broadly, you're going to have that power when you're going in there. Or maybe you're going to have that power when you see an auction, or that power when you see something listed on Facebook, right? You're going to be able to make a decision real quick of, hey, is that profitable or not? And that's the key to reselling, is knowing, is that a profitable item that's sitting in front of you, and how quickly are you able to identify that? So when it comes to learning these new categories, you don't want to have to worry about making mistakes at all. I don't look at it as a mistake. I look at it as the cost of learning that new item. So when you go into learning new categories, you don't want to think about making mistakes, right? You're paying with your time, maybe paying with buying some inventory, but you're putting an investment in learning that category and that knowledge in the long run. So for me, I'm always going to recommend for people to try out new categories, right? I put out a whole series on how to sell DVDs, and I know people are taking that knowledge and using it themselves right now out in the wild. And I'm super happy for that, because there's so many categories that people could take advantage of that's out there. And you really should be trying new categories to see, what works best for you. The more categories that you have knowledge in, the better you're going to be able to adapt in the long run, right? Stores are always changing inventory. You're going to get new competition coming in there. The market may be demanding a lot less of what you're currently selling. But if you're able to learn something new and be able to apply that out when you're out in the wild, you're going to be able to make so much more money for your business. And you're going to now be a Swiss Army knife of thrifting. Now, I wouldn't recommend going out and learning too many categories at once. I would focus on learning one new category and adding to your list, maybe every month or so. Because eventually you're going to figure out which ones work best for you. And if you had 5 to 10 categories that you felt really comfortable with sourcing and selling, you're really going to do well when you're out there. I know for myself, when I go to certain stores, that certain categories are pretty much off limits because I know of where they're pricing it, what type of product they normally are getting in there. I just know what my competition is like in that area, that, I'm going to stay away from that. But since I have that knowledge of new categories, I know that I could go and tap into that and, maybe take advantage of that. And that's just doing local arbitrage of the situation, right? If people are gravitating towards one category and buying that up, or the prices are going up, or the inventory is not there, but your store is not moving another product and they just keep dropping the price, but you're finding out the market is actually okay there, that's a great opportunity for you to be able to take advantage of and be able to put that online to buyers that will appreciate that product. And that's one of the greatest parts about being in this business, is that, whatever may not sell in your market may sell really well online. Now, I know I'm rambling on here, but I really wanted just to come on here and tell you guys, I think you should go out and invest in learning new categories, and, just write it off if it doesn't work. These CBs that I bought them super cheap, and really just to get some parts to try them out, see if they work and see what it sells for. If I can't even sell it for parts, it's just a little bit of money and some time when it comes to it. But now I'll know, is this a category that's worth it for me or not? So I'm really going to challenge you guys to go out there and try to learn a new category. Think of one that you're interested, or maybe you're seeing a lot of in your local thrift stores that you haven't really gravitated towards. You want to understand, is that one worth it for you if you haven't researched it yet? Take a little bit of time, go on eBay, look at Terapeak, just look up comps, see what it's looking like out there. Take that time. Maybe buy a unit, try to sell a unit. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm going to be testing them. Even if they don't work, I'm going to be selling them for parts and seeing how the market bears that. But all it is taking a little bit of time for me to understand whether it's worth it in the long run. Once you learn that market in your local marketplace, you're really going to be able to take off. For myself, I think I'm going to be able to go and source these locally more from Facebook and OfferUp, because there's a high Jeep and off-roading community around here. And when I used to have CB radios, when I used to have Wrangler, so I know I could go and find people that are always upgrading their units, and I'll be able to buy these radios off of them. So I hope you guys are going to be looking at trying out new categories, researching it, maybe investing a little bit of money and trying it out, and just seeing how that impacts your business. And the last thing you want to do with your business is stay in the status quo. You always want to be moving forward. So thank you guys for joining me. If you guys like this, make sure you leave a thumbs up below. Also hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And if you're thinking about looking at a new category, why don't you share it below? I want to see what you guys are looking for. Maybe it's a category that I'd be interested in as well. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye.